Hello again, and God be with you. It's a nice sunny day when I'm recording this. One of our Indian summers, I think. Well, I've only got one more story to record from this book of Bob Hartman's, but I'm not going to record it today because I'm going to leave it until the end of the year. Luckily, I've got another of his books, more Bible tales, and I'm going to read one of these today. This story is called Dog's Version. Dog jumped up and down. Fox! Fox! He wolfed. I need to talk to you right now. Fox stuck a nose out of his hole. This doesn't have anything to do with your master's chickens, does it? He asked suspiciously. No, no. What chickens? Dog woofed. But it does have to do with my master. Never mind the chickens then, Fox shrugged, sticking his head out as well. So tell me about your master, if you must. Though why you insist on remaining in that ridiculous slave relationship escapes me. I know, Dog woofed, but this time it might help. My master is building a boat, and I saved a seat just for you. Fox pulled his shoulders out of the hole and propped up his cheek on his paw. Then he chuckled. A boat, you say? Yes, Dog woofed, a big boat. Fox smiled a bemused smile. I have to confess that I have always wanted to ride on a boat. A salty breeze blowing through my fur, a jaunty sailor's cap on my head. Yes, it sounds like heaven. And then he raised his eyebrows and lowered his voice. The only problem is that we are miles and miles from the sea. Has your master thought of that? Yes, Dog woofed. He's thought of that. You see, we won't be going to the sea. The sea will be coming to us. Sort of. See? Fox sighed. No, I don't see. And I especially don't see how the sea will be coming to us. Well, sort of, Dog woofed. I said sort of. And how exactly will that happen then? Sort of, Fox replied. It's going to rain, Dog woofed. Rain and rain and rain and rain. Fox shifted to his other paw. Rain, he repeated incredulously. Rain here, in what most people would call a desert. That's right, Dog woofed. Rain hard enough to float a boat? Big boat, Dog woofed. Very big. Big enough to carry 2 of every animal in the world. Fox tried not to laugh. I'm working very hard to be polite, he sniggered, but your master's idea is sounding more and more absurd. A boat big enough to carry 2 of every animal in the world would have to be enormous for a start, assuming that you could collect 2 of every animal in the world. And to float that boat, you would need so much rain that everything we see around us would have to disappear beneath the water. I know, Dog woofed. I'm pleased to hear it. I'm pleased to hear it, Fox replied. Your loyalty has not blinded you to reason and common sense. No, Dog woofed. I know that it would take an enormous boat, and I know that it would take an even enormouser flood. But that's what's going to happen. And that's why I'm here. So you can get on the boat and be safe. I'm touched, said Fox. I truly am. We've had our differences over the years, mostly to do with those chickens. So your concern for my well-being is particularly moving. But I won't be moving from this spot or onto this enormous boat of yours, because your master's idea is, quite frankly, crackers. Oh, it wasn't his idea, Dog woofed. Not his idea at all. That's a relief, Fox sighed. I was worried for a moment there that his insanity might affect you personally, that he would insist on calling you plum cake or dress you up in children's clothing. So whose idea is it then? God's, Dog woofed. It was God's idea. Fox rolled his eyes. Well, yes, I should have guessed. Oh, so you talk to God too? Dog woofed. No, Dog sighed. I do not talk to God, my friend, because there is no such person. Dog stopped bouncing up and down. No such person? No such person? But my master talks to him all the time. Perhaps he does, Fox nodded, just as I talked to my imaginary friend Basil when I was a cub. But even then I knew that Basil was not real. How? Dog woofed. How? Well, for a start, Dog replied, he never talked back. Oh, then that's the difference, Dog woofed. That's the difference. God talks back to my master. Fox sighed even more deeply. Your master may think God talks back, plum cake, but it's all in his imagination. Trust me. But God told him how to make the boat, how long and how high and how wide, and even what kind of wood to use. He was very specific. Dog shifted paws again. And do you think he just made it up on his own? He's never built a boat in his life, Dog woofed. But God made the whole world and everything in it, so surely he would know how to build a boat. Made the world, God mused. That would be one explanation, I suppose, if there were a God. So, how do you think we got here? Asked Dog. Fox shook his head. Don't know. Not really bothered, actually. Maybe it all happened by chance. But I don't think it was because some big person in the sky just magicked us here. Why not, Dog woofed? Why not? Because a big person in the sky would probably have done a better job of things, Fox replied. He would have made chickens without feathers for a start. That would have saved a lot of gagging. You're just being silly, Dog woofed. Just silly. I'm not, said Fox, and he looked very serious. Apart from your mildly bonkers master, who, I must admit, strikes me as a decent sort of fellow, have you spent much time with any humans lately? Well, I spend time with my master's wife and their 3 sons and their wives, Dog woofed. And they're all very nice to me. Yes, Dog sighed. Fox sighed. Apart from your wannabe sailor master and his extended wannabe sailor's family, do you have any other contacts with humans? No, not so much, Dog woofed. Not so much. Well, I do, Fox explained. And even in my relatively short lifespan, I have seen them do the most violent and wicked things to each other. Unspeakably horrible things, not to mention what they do to animals. And the longer I live, the worse it seems to get. Now, what kind of God would make creatures who do things like that? Dog scratched his head and his tail. Dunno, but that's why he's sending the flood. Fox crawled up out of his hole and looked Dog right in his dog face. God is sending the flood? Is that what you're telling me? Or rather, is that what your master believes? That's what God told him, Dog woofed. God said that people had got so violent and were doing such awful things to each other that he was sorry he had made them and that he wanted to start over again. By drowning everybody? Fox's eyebrows were raised again. Well, not everybody, God woofed. Not my master Noah, and not his family either, and not the animals who are on the boat, like me and you. And then he whispered, if you come. But why Noah? Fox asked. Why does he get special treatment? Oh, you said it yourself, Dog woofed, just a minute ago. He's not like the other humans, you know, and I guess God knows that too. Fox sat back on his haunches and stared at the ground. So what you're saying is that God, assuming there is a God, is going to save the world by destroying it. Dog looked at the ground too. Well, or maybe he's going to save the world from destroying itself by saving a little piece of it, just enough to start again. Then he lifted up his head and looked at Fox. I was just sort of hoping that you'd be a piece of that little piece. Fox smiled. I'm flattered. I really am. But I'm also a fox. And I don't have to tell you what that means. I trust my brain. I survive on my cleverness. It's reason that counts in my world. And my brain tells me that, nice as you are, you and your master are on a fool's errand. I don't see any harm coming from it, apart from you frightening those who believe in your message. And the possibility, of course, that one of the larger animals you've invited onto your boat might decide that it's a dinner cruise and choose you as the main course. No, I think I'll decline your invitation. But do have a wonderful time on your pretend trip in the pretend rain sent by your pretend God. Dog looked sad, very sad. So you're saying no just because you think you're smarter than me? Fox cleared his throat. I'm very sorry, my friend, but yes, I am smarter than you. As are dolphins and pigs and several other species. Cats, surely. I've outwitted you more times than I can count. We're back to the chickens again. So why not trust my judgment on this matter too? Because I'm not stupid, Dog woofed. I may not be as clever as you, but I'm using my brain too. I trust my master. He has never let me down. I know that. And I know that people are getting worse and worse. You said it yourself. That's evidence that there is truth to my master's story. And even though I can't prove there is a God or that he talked to my master has never done anything crazy before and he never lied to me. So I am using my brain and I'm using something else. I'm using what a dog is good at. I'm using my loyalty, my trust in the people who love me. And if they're getting on the boat, then I'm getting on with them. Fair enough, said Fox, turning around. I'll come knock on the door in a few days, shall I? You'll have chickens on board, surely. I don't feel like joking any more, woofed Dog sadly. Goodbye, my friend. Then Fox crawled back into his hole, and Dog climbed onto the boat. Well, I assume from the story that there must have been another fox who got onto the boat, because we do have foxes around still. But that was the story of Noah and the ark from the point of view of a dog. Thank you for listening. Keep safe, and I'll see you next week.